is being victimized by our own government. One man whom they fear, yet whom millions love. One man who is willing to take the poison arrows of lawfare. One man whose voice has been taken away by a corrupt judge operating in a corrupt system. One man who has been ridiculed and insulted. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who stands between us and them. One man that wants to see America protected again. One man who wants to see America prosper again. One man who understands that a man is a man and a woman is a woman. One man who understands and protects the blessing of life. One man who wants to restore American exceptionalism. One man who once again wants to make America that shining city on a hill for all to see. A place where all the people of the world glowingly set their eyes upon. America. One man who unashamedly wants to make America great again. That one man is Donald Trump.
This is Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
Good evening, everybody. Sorry, had a couple minutes there late. Didn't know if I was going to make it on time. Actually, didn't know if I was going to make it at all because, oh my gosh, what an amazingly slow news day despite the advent of a new war. It doesn't make any sense. You would think that because of everything that's going on, there'd be a whole bunch of news, but seems like everybody took off Juneteenth. The big celebration for Juneteenth is on. Wow. President Trump had something to say about that, though. He just posted this literally about 30 minutes ago. So he and I are probably thinking the same thing. So let me go ahead and show this to you because I don't think he's a big fan of Juneteenth. I can't even say it sometimes. Too many non-working holidays in America. It is costing our country billions of dollars to keep all of these businesses closed. The workers don't want it either. Soon we'll end up having a holiday for every once working day of the year. It must change if we are going to make America great again. I read that in probably the same way you did. Was this the last Juneteenth we're going to see for some time? I can only hope. Now, somebody had asked me a question and said, Barry, look, you're being a little hard on Juneteenth. And I'm like, okay, then tell me what we need to be, why do we need this holiday? What does Juneteenth mean, I don't know, to most of the people in the country? See, I know 4th of July means a whole lot, and it used to mean a lot to everyone in the country. I know what Christmas means. I know what Thanksgiving means, except to the commies. I know what Christmas means, except for the ones who hate Jesus. I know what New Year's is, everybody's first day of the year. See, I can, Labor Day, we're going to celebrate people, the labor that they have put forth, the entire country. Let's go back. Veterans, of course, we want to make sure we celebrate our veterans. Memorial Day, we want to have remembrance of those who have passed. You see, most holidays that you can think off the top of your head have a grand audience, meaning they encompass so many people. What the hell is Juneteenth? So I had to go to the only source I could even think about going, because I thought it might be a little bit, somewhat middle of the road, not too wokey. But so I just went to, what do you call it? Wikipedia. Juneteenth, in case anybody hasn't explained it to you today, Juneteenth, officially Juneteenth, National Independence Day. I did not know that. Did you know that they were calling Juneteenth the official National Independence Day? They kind of left that part off because most people would be like, nah, it's not. It's a federal holiday in the United States. It is celebrated annually on June 19th to commemorate the end of slavery in the United States. The holiday's name, first used in the 1890s, is a portmanteau of the words June and 19th, referring to June 19th, 1865, the day when Major General Gordon Granger ordered the final enforcement of the Emancipation Proclamation in Texas at the end of the American Civil War. In the Civil War period, slavery came to an end in various areas of the states at different times. Many enslaved Southerners escaped, demanded wages, stopped work, or took up arms against the Confederacy. In January 1865, Congress finally proposed the 13th Amendment to the United States Constitution for the national abolition of slavery. By June, almost all enslaved persons had been freed, and on and on and on. And then they go all the way to here when it was recognized as a federal holiday in 2021, when the 117th Congress under Biden made it. And I didn't know this. Signed Juneteenth, National Independence Day. Did you know that? After everything you've heard and all the stuff that you've seen today and everything, did you know that they changed Independence Day? Most people probably don't. They just say it's Juneteenth. They don't know that it's actually Juneteenth, National Independence Day. Doesn't say Black Independence Day. Doesn't say former slave Independence Day. It's National Independence Day. That's why I called it BS, and that's why I was talking to people in the chat saying it's a BS holiday. We already have a National Independence Day. July 4th is National Independence Day. They went and changed the name because you can tell what was coming if they had gotten Kamala in office. There wouldn't have been a July 4th. That would have been something they were going to try and repeal. Don't believe me? You tell me why they would have called it National Independence Day when we already had a National Independence Day. And funny, every time you've heard people talk about this holiday, for some reason, they leave that part off. They don't talk about that National Independence Day. But now you know. And now that you know, you're probably thinking to yourself, one, I didn't know that. That's a big problem. And then number two is, what the hell were these people planning? How were they going to just usurp us and take away our Independence Day so that it could become the actual day, June 19th, Juneteenth? We don't need to. There wouldn't have been two National Independence Days within a couple weeks of each other. One of them was going to have to go bye-bye. And which one do you think they were going to have go bye-bye? The one on July 4th or the one they all just worked to go ahead and pass? So right now you're probably seething and going, oh my gosh, they were going to do that too? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what the plan obviously was. They weren't going to have two national independence holidays right back and forth. The kids would have been, this is how they would have sold it. The kids would have been confused. We can't have two national independence days. Now you know where they're going with the national anthem. The black national anthem? There is no black nation. I don't feel bad saying it. There is no black nation. But they call it the Black National Anthem, and they're playing it in front of things like the Super Bowl and everything else. Where do you think they were headed with this? You don't need to. They were looking to do some really dirty stuff. Absolutely. Yeah, you're right, Steve. July 4th is my Independence Day. not letting it. They've taken away parts of our language. They've taken apart different things that we could celebrate. They tried to do away with Christmas. They even had one for Christmas. Kwanzaa. What the hell is Kwanzaa? I've been black for quite a long time, had a lot of black relatives, and my entire life nobody said, hey, is Santa coming for Kwanzaa? No, nah. It was Santa Claus because it was Christmas. And then they try to do away with the, Turkey Day. Oh, we scammed the Indians. I'm sorry, Native Americans. And we can't have Thanksgiving. There's nothing in this country to be thankful for. What they had planned for you and me was some insidious you-know-what. And so today, I don't know, I got a little ticked off when that lady was saying, you're not celebrating Juneteenth, right? Or whatever she was saying. And I'm like, no, and I never will. I never will recognize this day as any sort of national independence day. It's completely BS. My father, who fought for this country, would have felt exactly the same way. Sorry. Not sorry anymore. And I think now people might be thinking this is exactly what he's thinking about. He sat back today after everything that he's had to worry about and went, what's going on here? Well, sorry, sir, nobody's working. Where the hell is everybody? What's going on? Oh, sure, sir, it's Juneteenth. What? What in the hell is Juneteenth? Oh, it was the other National Independence Day, sir. So we have 2 Independence Days? Yes, sir. I'll get back to that in a while. And if you notice, when Caroline Leavitt did the press conference, paid attention, and they said, hey, was President Trump going to come out with a proclamation or something happy about, you're going to recognize Juneteenth? And she's like, I don't think so. There's your proclamation. There's your proclamation. I've had enough. Thank you, President Trump. You could have went further and just said we're doing away with it. Did you enjoy today? Did you have a great time? Fantastic. It's your last one. We're done with this. I got stuff to do. Bye. Done with these idiots. All right, so let's get into tonight's show amidst the possible apocalypse. Now, if you, again, being a wordsmith and go look at what the definition of apocalypse are, there's a couple different ones. There's one that said it's the end of the world as you know it, and it just says something else that is catastrophic. I actually had, believe it or not, somebody email me and say, Barry, you said it's apocalypse soon, like the like the world is going to end. Sometimes I wish people would take just a little bit, a modicum of research and look at things and understand. Here's the definitions. Hold on, let me go ahead and bring it to you so you know what I'm thinking and we can discuss this as intelligent adults. Okay, where is it here? Over here. Hold on. I don't know why it's not fitting correctly. Anyway. You got the first one, which is the complete final destruction of the world as described in Revelation, the Bible book Revelation, or number 2, an event involving destruction or damage on an awesome or catastrophic scale. And there you can see it. It's number 2, an event involving destruction or damage on an awesome or catastrophic scale. That's the apocalypse I'm talking about, not the biblical apocalypse. A catastrophic event on a magnificent scale. Is that what we're seeing about to be ushered in? Some of us, which means me, feel that we're very soon from seeing things go boom. I don't think there's going to be any sort of negotiations or anything like that. One thing I wanted to show you tonight, because maybe things are already going boom. Because again, here's yet another indication of the word coincidence. Let me see if I can find this post I want to show you. Yeah, okay. He posts so prolifically, I don't know how far back it is. But just want you guys to understand. Sorry, so sorry. Wow, there's so many things here. So many things. Trying to find the right one. In any event, not sure if you know, but they recently had, when I say recently, as in like a couple hours ago or less, an earthquake. They had an earthquake in Iran. Coincidence? Nah, I don't think so. Here it is right here. All right. Wanted to show this to you because I was talking to Robin about this and I went, oh man, what are they doing over there? East Iran, striker earthquake, a 4.3 magnitude tremor just rattled the area near Mashhad, eastern Iran, and no one's quite sure what caused it. Was it tectonic or the result of another deep Israeli strike? As reports roll in from Iranian media and residents alike, speculation is already swirling. Some point to natural seismic activity. Others, especially on Iranian social media, aren't buying it. So Earth is moving over there. That's the one thing that they can agree on. Like, hey, why is stuff shaking? What's going on? Well, some people are saying it was an earthquake. Other people are like, we just can't make up our mind and figure out what it is. Interesting. Then you get this one. Craziness around the world, just bringing you up to it. A grenade was thrown at the Norwegian ambassador's residence in Tel Aviv. A grenade was thrown at the residence of Norwegian ambassador Per Egil Selvag in Tel Aviv on Thursday evening, according to Israeli Foreign Minister Gideon Sa'ar. So why would you be throwing a grenade at the, ambassador of Norway? Why would you do that? And then you see this. And all this stuff is happening in quite quick succession. Breaking, U.S. removes nearly all aircraft from Qatar base ahead of potential Iranian airstrikes. Moves, counter moves, all the way around. Then we get this one. I love how he's doing these things chronologically. Breaking, Israel issues strike warning inside Iran. The Israeli military has told civilians to flee a specific Iranian industrial zone before doing anything. The message was released in Arabic and Farsi, urging all residents near Sefedrud Industrial Park in Kolesh Talishan to evacuate immediately. The IDF said it's targeting military infrastructure in Iran and warns that anyone who stays is putting their life at risk. That comes on the heels of Bibi Netanyahu saying, hey, if you guys don't do it, talking to Trump, we'll go ahead and do it ourselves. We think we have the capacity to get this done. And so here it is, nightfall here. I don't know what time it is over there. But then this came out. Trump is ready to strike Iran as FBI tracks terror cells inside the United States. Trump is reportedly weighing a strike on Iran's Fordo nuclear site while the FBI increases surveillance of Hezbollah-linked operatives inside the U.S. Surveillance allegedly expanded under FBI Director Patel after Israel launched Operation Rising Lion. One IRGC operative told investigators he was pushed to plan an attack on Trump. In recent years, prosecutors have charged individuals plotting to kill Bolton and Ahmadinejad. Press Secretary Leavitt says Trump will decide within 2 weeks. That, I think, may be one of the biggest posts of the day. That makes a whole lot of sense to me. We know that they're not going to be able to strike us. But what we want to make sure is that there aren't a whole bunch of sleeper cells all around the country who are just laying in wait, looking for their signal to start blowing stuff up here in America. That would make me think, yeah, that's what Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, have been doing. That would be a very high priority. Not the Epstein stuff, not this, not that, not the stuff people are crying about. What about all these people here that came from Iran, and what kind of intent, what do they have in mind for America? That would be something I want my FBI definitely tracking. Should have been tracked already, but we'll okay. We'll just deal with that. Let me see what else he's got here. All right, and Iran just keeps talking. Oh, they talk crap. They talk a lot of crap. All right. It says here, UK's Lammy heading to Geneva for talks with Iran, France, and Germany. UK Foreign Secretary David Lammy will travel to Geneva for a meeting with the foreign ministers of Iran, France, and Germany, according to the Foreign Office. So there's a whole lot of stuff going on. It seems like multiple countries at this point are trying to avoid the apocalypse, trying to get things in order. Say, hey guys, you gotta fix this. Things are gonna go boom real soon here. They're being restrained. And I don't know like what's going on right now, what time it is over there, and what they might be doing, but they gotta get it fixed. It's going to go absolutely crazy if they don't get it fixed. And now here, scrolling up 11 minutes ago, as they warned when they told everybody to get out, now 11 minutes ago, Israeli airstrikes have hit the Safed industrial site. Israeli airstrikes have reportedly targeted Safed industrial town, with eyewitnesses confirming smoke rising from the area. So it's happening. So right now, they're over there just bombing the heck out of stuff again. It's going to continue, and it won't stop until either Iran does exactly what President Trump says in terms of waving the white flag and surrendering, or they blow them up. All right, so let's see here. Pride Month is gone. It's Veterans Month. They don't need a week or a month, 1 day period. I haven't even heard anything about the Pride stuff. It's like it just disappeared. Good for them. These nations who have been sitting on the fence, they're going to have to get involved as well, because it's going to get crazy. Let's see here. SB is tossing somebody. Already? SB, you already just putting somebody, giving them Das Boot? What in the hell could you have said? What could have been at all? I gotta see what this guy said. What did he say that caused... he said, Barry, you're being obtuse. You had trouble even saying Juneteenth. You know why I have trouble saying Juneteenth? I'll give you a hint if he's still here. you know why? Because it's not a real word. There is no word called Juneteenth. Idiots. Oh gosh, that's too funny. Okay. Ashley told me, don't look. I'm not going to look. I'm not going to waste time on these people. They're crazy. All right, so somebody says 3:30 a.m. in Iran. All right, here we go. But anyway, I'm not going to look. Let's just get on with the show, because I get in trouble for paying attention to trolls.
You have said that you don't seek power, but you are ready to fulfill a duty if called upon. If the people supported or asked you to return as Shah for a period of time during transition, would you be open to that option?
I don't think I need a title to perform as a transitional leader. I think the reason people are looking for me to play that role is because of their confidence in me, their trust in me, and I think to a great extent the track record that I've demonstrated in the past 44 years since I've begun. And that trust in me allows me to play that national leader role, if you will, and be able to be the element that assembles people together on a common agenda, knowing that we might differ in opinion, but we are committed to the democratic outcome. So I don't think...
What's interesting is I've seen this guy basically lobbying for the job. And he's been lobbying for the job to be put back in control. I think it was his father that was the Shah of Iran, and this is the son or the grandson. Let me just look that up real quick to make sure I've got the timeline correct. But I believe this is his son. Yes, this is Reza Pahlavi. Reza Pahlavi. He's 64 years old. He is the eldest son of Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, was the last Shah of the Pahlavi dynasty. So, essentially, king, I guess you can say Shah. Let me just look over here. Yeah. He was officially named the Crown Prince of Iran in 1967 at the time of his father's coronation. So his father, they call it the Shah, but actually, I guess that is a kingship. So he wants to go back and take control, take the reins of this country. I haven't seen anything where anyone's talked to him to see if it's even being offered, but it's odd that he's on the news all the time.
To have any particular title, that would be putting the carriage before the horse, so to speak. Let us be focused on the job at hand. The job at hand is eliminate this regime and replace it with a secular democratic alternative. And this is exactly the end game that I'm looking at, and I'm not looking past that one at this time. I'm focused only on this mission, and I hope my compatriots will understand that we need not prematurely discuss issues that will be determined down the line.
So it's kind of interesting is that nobody has really said he's in a position to assume the throne should it be vacated from the Ayatollah. But he's making it known, I want my country back. And I'm pretty sure there are many, 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 many people in Iran who would love the idea of this country going back to normal. But there's also a lot of people, especially a lot of the men over there, who love the idea that they have so much power over women and make them put on that thing and wear it from head to toe. I don't know if you've gone back and looked at pictures of Iran before it was changed over, when it was Persia, and the beautiful women, beautiful people from that area of the world. And they were made to then put on these blankets and have to walk around in them. And then, I can't even talk about it here. They'd probably flip it off. All the different things that the women are made to do in that culture. Is this a good guy, or is it going to be good for the country? I don't know. I haven't heard President Trump. I haven't heard anybody talk about it, but there's a reason why he's showing up on television so often. I don't think they would just put this guy on TV and say, hey, listen, you want to talk about taking over Iran? Unless somebody in the background is saying this is going to be our guy. If it's already been pre-planned that this guy here is going to be taking over this country. I don't know. It's possible. It's very possible. Maybe this is some of the things that Trump's going to be making his decision within 2 weeks. I know this guy's probably not safe right now. There's probably people looking to do some things to him. This isn't going to be an easy transition unless it's all at once. You're not going to, and Trump knows this, you are not going to negotiate with somebody who wants you dead. That's a very tough negotiation because there's no room. These people, you guys who are biblical, you know there is no resolution here. They want that land. They do not want Israel as a country. So before everybody gets in the chat and gets all up in their feelings about Israel and everything else, understand centuries of what's going on here. And they're fighting. And if you guys don't know about the Temple Mount and everything, you might want to go read up on it. I'm not going to take the time to do it. But this land is what they're fighting for. And they don't want these people on this land. And so I don't know how they ever work it out, because all they want is these people gone, dead. No two-state, and it ain't gonna ever happen. So what's the answer? To stop all this craziness. Yeah, they want power. They want that power completely. And so that's where we are as of tonight. I guess SV will keep checking to see if there's other things happening. But as of right now, this is where we are. And pray for the people, the innocent people of Iran, because it's probably going to get pretty ugly. And also pray for American people, Trump supporters, real Trump supporters who are under a deluge, a constant attack from everybody right now. An attack to say, we want this or we want that, with no substantiation whatsoever. They just don't like Israel, and they think it's going to be some sort of forever war. Talk to some people in the military. Maybe that will help people. It's unlikely that if we're involved in something, that there will ever be another forever war. The technology is so great at this point, things wouldn't be this way. It's not going to be a whole bunch of ground soldiers trying to, acquire land and take that hill. It's not going to be like that. My brother right now is a colonel in the Army, and he can only tell me certain things with a wink wink. And he's like, the stuff that we're doing technologically can save hundreds, if not thousands of troops. Here's a hint. I want you to just think this in your mind. You ever see these pretty drone shows? And they're flying up drones, hundreds, maybe thousands of drones that are making formations. There are some cities that don't do fireworks anymore. They just do drone shows on 4th of July. Have you ever seen one of those? Now imagine if every one of those drones was loaded with some sort of armament. Boom, 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 boom. And then the big drones, even the bigger ones, the ones that look like little mini planes. And you're flying them from Omaha. You don't need to put people over there. You don't need to. So I don't understand when I keep hearing people talk about forever wars. And I'm like, what's happening in Ukraine and Russia is between those guys right now. But if it was involving us, it would probably be pretty quick. Remember, Ukraine is getting the stuff basically we don't want. Here, we don't use this anymore. Here, go lob mortars at each other. Even though Russia's nuclear. So I don't understand. Maybe I can get one of these guys on the show who can explain to me what the hell you're worried about with this so-called forever wars. It's never going to happen that way. Never. So we'll keep a lookout and see what's happened. Not just the Middle East, they want the whole world. Yeah, that's a good point. They will not be satisfied. Jerusalem, where's this? Jerusalem is God's capital of his people. Anyone trying to remove them or divide it will be seriously judged by God. And I think that's a good comment. And I think that's where the disconnect is, because then they'll call us nuts. Y'all nuts. You're Jesus freaks and everything else. And you listen to the man in the sky. We're talking real stuff here. We're talking war. That may be also part of the division. Because people don't want us. They despise the fact, and you know this, they despise Christians. So of course, any ideology that we try to use to reason with them, they're not going to accept that either. It ain't going to happen. Italian people want a democracy. The crown prince in exile in USA. Yeah, you guys are getting it. You guys are getting it here. Let's see here. Unless we are taking it over, the military will have to go in just like Iraq. No, I don't believe so. I don't think we're looking to take it over. Let me see what else we got here. We need to be more vigilant, alert to the cells that are in the United States already. That's what we got to worry about. That's where boots may come on the ground. They may come on the ground here. Because we don't know what the reaction is going to be. I bet you as President Trump is talking to everybody, that's probably the biggest thing keeping them from being blown to bits is what will happen here. How many thousands of people already have guns and weapons and ammo and would think not twice to light something up? That's what I think is really, really concerning. All right, so that's where we are as of right now. SV will bring me, hold on, he just hit me with something else here. If anything pops up. What do we got here? President Trump just posted again. Let me see what it is. Wait a second. Lowest inflation in 4 years. I did just see that as well. We now have the lowest inflation in 4 years. But I think people knew this is what was coming. We knew this was coming because of the tariffs and everything else he's doing. And that's where we are. All right, let's continue.
This is what we should point out. This is Donald Trump's GOP, not Tucker Carlson's. Now, you mentioned what happens when you go against Donald Trump. I mean, this sort of says it all, right? We've had these fights in the past. We had it between Mike Pence and, of course, Donald Trump over the 2020 election. We had it most recently, Elon Musk against Donald Trump. GOP favorables, pre and post-Trump fight. Look at this. Pre-fight, Mike Pence, very well beloved by Republicans, an 84% favorable rating. Look at where he is now, 36%. When you go against Donald Trump and you're Republican, you go down. How about Elon Musk? Remember, he was beloved by Republicans. He had a 78% favorable rating with Republicans. But then he fought Donald Trump, and what happened? He went down. The bottom line is this. Donald Trump's favorable rating stayed steady or actually even went up when he won these battles against Mike Pence or Elon Musk. But if you go up against Donald Trump and you're Republican or Republican affiliated, your favorable ratings with Republicans, they go down, traditionally speaking.
Where do things stand right?
You know that. I know that. We lived through it. We saw what Mike Pence did. He committed political suicide. He can't run for dog catcher anywhere in the country. And so I don't know what these people were thinking. Did they think same thing they're thinking right now? Actually, it's just another one. It's Pence again. It's the fight with Elon, and now this one here. This MAGA splitting up. They just keep running the different psyop, hoping it'll work. And they can't, they're completely surprised when they find out that, nope, they're still sticking with Trump. This will continue for the next 3.5 years, over and over. It's going to be something that they're trying to drive a wedge and drive people away from Trump. Some people are taking the bait. You just can't let that happen to you. Don't do it.
Now for the Director of National Intelligence, and Tucker Carlson. And again, I want to point out, Carlson's been very public with what he's saying. Tulsi Gabbard, we haven't heard from her in a little bit.
Yeah, this is Donald Trump's Republican Party. The favorable rating among Republicans, you could see it here. Donald Trump beloved, 88% favorable rating among Republicans, near his apex. Now, Tucker Carlson is well liked among Republicans, but not anywhere in the same universe as Donald Trump at 64%, Tulsi Gabbard, 55%. The bottom line is this. As I said at the beginning, this is Donald Trump's Republican Party, not Tucker Carlson's, not Tulsi Gabbard's. Republicans, traditionally speaking, go along with Donald Trump. And as we saw in that last slide, when you go against Donald Trump, you go down while Donald Trump stays quite high.
And we keep on mind.
Think about that for a second. That you actually had to go out and poll that. Which means somebody commissioned this poll and say, let's see how his rating's doing against this person and that person. Why would you need to commission a poll? Think about the genesis of that. Why would they commission a poll to see how's it working with Tucker? Is Tucker taking him down? Nope, not working. What do you mean? Nope, they still sticking with Trump. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? And I'm not accusing Tucker of anything. I'm just saying it's just odd that you would even be running this kind of a poll. What would make you run a poll to see, how Tucker's doing or Mark Levin or against Trump? They're not president. They're not gonna be president. So why would you even run this kind of a poll? I don't know. Maybe do you guys think about that?
Where Republican support is for the possibility of strikes. What's the latest you're seeing?
Yeah, I mean, look, what we see in the data, and I've looked at a number of different polls. They've asked it different ways, but the clear majority of Republicans in any poll that you look, GOP on U.S. airstrikes against Iran, if Iran's pursuing nuclear arms, you see it here. The Republican Party, again, is with Donald Trump, 69% in this particular poll from the Chicago Council that was taken a few months ago, compared to 27% who are opposed. But again, even if you look at the other polling data, it all points in the same direction. Republicans are with Donald Trump on this particular issue, and they're with Donald Trump at large. And when you go against Donald Trump, you go down.
Raise your hand if you're surprised. I'm not. I'll put my hand down. I am not surprised, but I'm surprised that Democrats don't get it yet. that his support is galvanized, absolutely galvanized, and it's going to take a lot more than a couple of people posting crazy things on social media to get that support to go down. It's just not going to work that way as much as they want it to. I'm sorry, it is what it is at this point. So, President Trump just posted this. How long ago did he post this? He posted this 10 minutes ago. As we're watching, thank you, SB, for sending this to me. Talked about it, the lowest inflation in 4 years. And Kevin Hassett, he's quoting him, the lowest inflation in 4 years. So you have to think to yourself, if you have the largest wage growth in 60 years and the lowest inflation in 4 years, what in the hell is Jerome Powell doing with the Fed? You're waiting for it to collapse? Oh, I'm still not sure. This might not go anywhere. We're talking decades. Highest wage growth in 60 years. Lowest inflation in 4 years. He said, when you guys listened to him, we played his speech the other day, he said, everything looks good. I just think something's got to happen. You said you were based on data. The data is telling you things look really good. You might want to get ready. Nope, we're just going to keep waiting. Well, we're hoping something might go wrong. We're not really sure. But that's kind of stuff he's saying. Jerome Powell, he should just, we can't just have him sitting there. That's absolutely nuts. Most Trump supporters are 100% behind him. I think it's as much, if there was an election today, do you really think that Candace Owens or Tucker Carlson or Alex Jones would vote for the Democrat versus Trump? Of course not. Of course not. You see, what I think a lot of these people are doing, here, let me give you a little secret here. Everybody wants some secret. We are in a transition phase. What a lot of people will tell you is the second term of a president, normally, not one that skips and comes back, still the second term of a president is usually when the president does everything he possibly can, everything he wanted to do. He didn't do it in the first because he's got to get reelected, and then in the second term, all bets are off and he goes, Katie bar the door. But when he goes Katie bar the door and he starts kicking butt, taking names and kicking doors in, other people don't want to be associated with that in case things go wrong. He's going to go out there and take all the arrows. He's going to take it for the party, for MAGA, to move forward. Then somebody, because I doubt President Trump is going to run again, let's get used to it. Then when it's time for 2028, all the arrows have been taken by Trump. And it's going to leave the person who steps into the spotlight in 2028 kind of clean. So if that person is going to be J.D. Vance, right now J.D. Vance has to stay back. He can't really jump into the fray because he's going to be the probably, arguably, the front runner come 2028. So if you know all of us, every single podcaster, every single influencer, whatever you want to call yourself, you know that you need to be here and you want to have a job. You want to have a business in 2028 and 2029. Well, maybe at this point you decide from a business perspective, I have to begin distancing myself from Trump publicly. Because people, I don't know what's really going to happen with him and everything he's getting ready to do. He's going to blow up the world. And I got to come over here. Of course, I'm still voting for MAGA. But I got to move a little bit because I can't get the collateral damage on my brand because I need to keep going after he's done being a wrecking ball. And so if you're in marketing or you're familiar with marketing or a little bit with politics and second terms of politicians, you can see what's beginning to happen. People are heading for the high ground because they want to position themselves in a favorable place come 2027, 2028. See, President Trump's in. They're not going to impeach him. They're not going to get rid of him. And so you can be really comfortable at this point is, let him cook. I don't need to keep pushing him. Let him cook. I need to start looking for 27 and 28 because I don't know who I'm going to be jumping behind. And so the million of followers that I have to make sure that they understand, I'm not like that right now. I'm like this because these people, some of them may be betting that MAGA isn't a force in 2028. See, a lot of people think long term. They're thinking way down the road. There's so much money to be made. I don't want my money to go away if Trump screws everything up, or God forbid, a Democrat gets in power and starts whacking heads off. See, I'm not flipping. I'm not changing. I'm with Trump 100%. So if anything happens with Trump and the Democrats take control, I'm done. I know for a fact I'd be one of the first ones that go, get out, click, click, click. But if you're one of these conniving people and you want to set yourself up for the future, you start backing off, start questioning Trump. And so that with 2027, 2028 comes, you can move right into your transition and keep going. You guys may not agree, but I'm telling you from a marketing perspective. Brand alignment and what you're thinking down the road. You can't be looking at something here. Remember what I've been telling you guys for a long, long time. You have to skate to where the puck is going to be, not where the puck is. So if you understand that you have to skate to where the puck is going to be, where's that puck going to be in 2027? Is it going to be MAGA? I can't foretell that. Can you? I don't think anybody can really foretell that right now. And so there's probably people making moves because they realize their economic survival is based upon moves they make today. Yeah. Me, I'm staying all in. I don't really care if 2028 comes and the Democrats win or somebody non-MAGA. I can say I've done everything I could. I'm staying the course. I'm just going to go. I pushed the chips all in a while ago. It's been very good for me, and I'm going to stay that course. I can't speak for other people. Want to have a brand alignment of chicken crab. Senators need to take note. Exactly. And you watch what happens with them. They'll start next year. You see, the ones who are going to be running for re-election, sometime around January, February, you're going to see them kind of go like this to MAGA as well. Expect it. Mark it down right now. You're not going to be the audience that they want to cater to. Because they think all we're going to care about MAGA is just Trump. And so watch very closely which senators begin distancing themselves from MAGA. And you'll be thinking, that's crazy for you guys to be doing this. Well, MAGA ain't going to be around then. There ain't no MAGA running. Yes, Trump will have his candidates that he will pick and he'll support. But at the same token, there are going to be people thinking just like some of these podcasters. What am I going to be doing in 2028? Let's see here. Barry X22 just said the flags Trump installed at the White House was a statement that we have taken back our country. I fully could believe that. I fully could believe that. If we don't stay MAGA, our country will be over. I believe that as well, which is why I'm straight ahead, full steam ahead. We're just going to go with this. Because I've never seen anything like it before, and we may never see anything like it again. And I would think somebody, if they're getting ready to run for office, would do just the opposite. Instead of trying to distance yourself from President Trump, you would embrace him. Go all in on MAGA. Just that. Let's see. Here's here. Common sense is MAGA. I believe that. JD in 2028. Well, we got plenty of time. We will see what happens. Trump was the only person campaigning that even mentioned building the wall. You know what? The other thing that Trump was the only person that mentioned anything? How many of them were standing behind no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security? How many other Republican candidates were fighting to lower your taxes as much as possible? How many Republican candidates and people who held office were looking at complete corruption of USAID and all these other things. Why did they must have known. Why was it just President Trump and Elon Musk who said, what is this? What is this? You guys just giving everybody's money away. You don't think many people knew? Just wasn't Biden. There had to have been a lot of people on the right as well who knew what was being spent. It was only Elon Musk and Trump who were saying we're going to have to cut this stuff. Why did you guys not do it? That should be a question for people running in 2026. Why did you let this happen? And I'd love to hear answers from people. Why did you let that happen? All right, let's go with the next story.
President Trump, meantime, promised to prioritize the working class, and he did. Blue-collar wage growth is seeing the largest increase in nearly 60 years. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent sharing news on X saying this, quote, real wages for hourly workers are up nearly 2% in the first 5 months of President Trump's second term, the strongest in 6 decades. Steve.
It's amazing.
I know. Incredible.
That's it. That didn't take long, did it? He's only been in office for 4 months. And that's because you're seeing businesses. The best way to raise wages is to have businesses reinvest in America, in capital equipment and factories. And that's what's happening. And by the way, you're just seeing the beginning of this, Dakin. I mean, you ain't seen nothing yet. We'll talk a year from now. I'll bet you see wages up 5 or 6%.
Because of...
Wow. I got another wow for you. Now, President Trump didn't post this. There's a difference between posting something and, as what they say on True Social, retruthing something. Well, President Trump just retruthed this, which is essentially like retweeting, sharing, but wait till you see this. President Trump just retruthed this. And what kind of, again, listening to his comms, what is this? What is the message this man is sending? It's a picture of Obama on piles of cash on pallets with the caption, "We know who is responsible for Iran's nuke program." He just retruthed it. Let me just see his original. Where's the original post? 1 second here. Let me get it for you. And it's right there. President Trump just retruthed. Somebody else posted it. This one, I stand with President Trump. But nonetheless, he just retruthed this. He retruthed this picture right there of Obama kneeling in front of piles of cash with the caption, "We know who is responsible for Iran's nuke program." Wow. Wow. Lots of stuff is going on in the background. I mean, what do you guys think about that? Yeah. Uh-oh is right. Barry, that's a powerful question. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. All the helicopters, pallets of cash. Love Barack. Wow. That is something that's absolutely huge. All right, let's continue to listen to Steve Moore, because Steve Moore is talking some serious stuff here about what's going on with our economy at this point. I want you guys to hear this stuff as we continue.
The big beautiful bill.
You got businesses. Yeah, you got businesses that are hiring more workers. They're investing more in America. The factories aren't going overseas. I mean, I just love this picture. All right, Steve Moore quoting Bachman Turner Overdrive. You ain't seen nothing yet. Good to see you, though, Steve Moore. Ain't seen nothing yet, baby. All right. Still ahead.
You ain't seen nothing yet. Wow. Gotta love that. See, I know I'm not going to do it tonight. Tonight's a very relaxing night. Just want you to know that. I'm not going to pick on anybody. I'm not going to swim into the sewer that is sometimes trolls. And I'm definitely not going to talk a whole lot about the economy, because I know it pisses people off for some reason. I don't know why it pisses you off. It should make you happy. What's this one here? I just want to make sure. Was this the new one I just picked up? Okay, no. Yeah, I don't know why anybody would be upset about it. It's all good stuff. We're all on the same team here. But this part that I'm about to show you, in terms of money being more corruption. You remember this woman? She kind of like has faded into the background. Carrie Lake, you haven't heard much from her lately. Well, she's settling into her new role in terms of, I don't know what they're calling it, but it's like the media. They're taking over Air America, whatever it is, and they're going to be redoing that. So listen to what she found out.
I'm here in Washington, D.C. as Senior Advisor at United States Agency for Global Media. I'm working on behalf of you and President Trump and his administration, and I have been on the job for a couple of weeks now, and I'm horrified by some of the things I'm learning about this agency. I'm sitting here on the 13th floor of a shiny, brand new, beautiful skyscraper building that is costing you, the taxpayer, a fortune. The Biden administration folks who were running this agency before, right before they left office, signed a brand new lease for this building, a 15-year lease that's going to cost the taxpayer nearly $250 million. Here's the kicker. They already have a building that they're located in that is paid off, that they could have renovated or updated, but they chose instead to get us into a lease that's costing the taxpayer a fortune. I know that every one of you out there is working hard and parting with your tax dollars. You're expecting it to be used wisely, not misused and mismanaged. And I can tell you that this building is a colossal waste of money. Take a look at what's in this building. Fancy conference rooms with wall-to-wall windows. There's 26 conference rooms at least, that's what I've counted, in this building. There are 4 bridges to nowhere, massive waterfalls, Italian marble finishes everywhere, leather furnishings, all of this being paid for.
So what do you notice about this building? It's empty. They rented this building and are paying, what'd you say, almost $250 million in rent on an empty building. And they've been finding these buildings throughout Washington and Virginia that the government has leased. And so here's where Pam Bondi and Kash Patel and Dan Bongino are going to have to start looking, is because, one, how are we locked into these leases? 2, who owns these buildings? See, that would be such an easy way to launder money. Let's go ahead and buy this building from Fred Smith's son. And Fred Smith's son owns this real estate company that, owns a bunch of office buildings throughout Washington. And we're going to pay Fred Smith's son, $100 billion or whatever. And no one's going to go there, so you just have to mow the lawn, keep the lights on or whatever. But that money goes into some LLC or some fund funded by USAID to fund the mortgage, the rent on this building that's going to somebody who's getting it kicked back to them. And what she's showing you here is there's nobody here. You could play football on the first floor, play football on all the floors. There's nobody there. And it's coming out of your pocket every single month times a whole lot of buildings. And the media doesn't say a word. You'll never know that this is happening. But it keeps happening over and over and over.
By the American taxpayer. And it's not the only thing we've seen. We are seeing grants where they've taken the grants and they've changed the contracts just days before we got in here to make it less transparent for us to find out where the money's going and what's happening with these grantees. It was an obvious sign that they wanted to keep us from finding out anything that we could possibly go in and change and make better for the American taxpayer. I want you to know I'm hard at work here in Washington, D.C. I'm working to make sure that we are not being bilked out of our hard-earned dollars. And we're going to make sure we're doing everything we can to cancel contracts that can be canceled, save money, downsize, and make sure there's no misuse of your dollars.
So I want you to think, if you're Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, and Dan Bongino, and now you're like, what is this? We got like hundreds of buildings with nobody in it, and just at the last minute, right after the election in December, they rewrote the leases and changed the LLCs, and now I guess is the person getting paid, not the one from before, and we don't know who owns this LLC, and Wally's Nigerian. As soon as the rent bill came in, he's paying the rent bill. Wait a second, where's all this money going? This is being in real estate and seeing what this stuff is doing and how they're doing it. Drive through your local downtown. Commercial real estate's in a complete abyss right now because of the way people are working from home. So much commercial office space has for lease signs. As I'm around right now because I'm looking for a spot for my new office, or studio rather. I'm like, you got the pick of the litter. You wouldn't believe some of the spaces I've looked at. I'm like, oh my God, who's the other tenant here? Well, we got like 3 on the first floor. What about the rest of the building? No, there's nobody here. No, I don't want to be here. This may got ghost or something, or some CIA black site. I'm going to go someplace else. This huge building. I looked at this building last Friday or Saturday. Went in it, and it's like 200,000 square feet of office spaces. I think it went up like 6 stories. And I'm looking around, and all I see is like 4 or 5 offices with lights on. All right, where's everybody? Oh, they took a hit during COVID. And so the rest is empty? Yeah. So why the hell would I pay you this much? You're telling me that there's no demand for all this damn office space. And so now you're paying the lease. You and me, we are paying the lease on all these fraudulent leases that they went back and changed all the different person, who is the leaseholder, who's the leasee, who's the guarantor. All these things were changed right before Trump got in. Why? Because now it makes it that much harder for law enforcement to come in and track where all this money is going. Where is it bouncing off of? That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. And when you think about it in terms of the scale, she doesn't have enough people to be digging into all this crime. Just that. Just think about it. If you got hundreds and thousands of square feet that you're paying rent on, that you don't even know who the landlord is, you can't find out where the book is, and Wally the Nigerian was just paying it every single month. You're like, hold on. Who's got the keys? We need to go look at this thing. And of course, being the real estate guy that Trump is, he's going to walk right in and go, no, we're not paying this. Then, of course, then they'll sue, and it's a nightmare. It just never ends. Never ends. I've seen lots of properties that are empty, and they're running, getting run down. God is exposing them all. Mm-hmm. Dan, you're saying what so many of us are saying. I want my money back. You have stolen, you have pilfered, and you kept asking for more. That's why I know these podcasters and influencers are full of crap. Because every Democrat is saying, I'm going to tax you to death, I'm going to tax you as much as I possibly can, and then I'm going to tax you some more, and then I'm going to tax your unrealized capital. Hey, man, save that. I don't work for you. Oh, you got to pay your fair share. Yeah. You can save that. But anyway, that's what we see is happening right now. So let me go to the next story. I'm going to run through these stories pretty quick. If you guys have any questions, I'll follow up afterwards.
Elon Musk was a little bit of a thorn in the side, I think, for a few of the cabinet members, including you. And I asked... All
right, so I love Miranda Devine, and I also like Scott Bessent. She's going to ask Scott Bessent here, and I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to tell you the question, but I'm going to tell you what to do. When she asks him the question, I'll let it play through, and you can hear his answer. But tell me if he ever answers the question. See, when people get asked a question, it's really simple. It's easy to answer it, especially the question she asks him. It's not a hard question. It's a very simple question. Tell me if you hear an answer.
President Trump about the famous stoush between you and Elon Musk, where there was a shouting match outside his office, and Elon Musk reportedly shoved you. Is that true?
We have had disagreements, but we both want to get to the same place. We both want to eliminate the waste, fraud, and abuse in government. The Silicon Valley mode of operation is move quickly and break things. I always say here at Treasury, we move deliberately and fix things. I think Elon's probably fancies himself more of a Viking. I think I'm more of a ninja. Through the submarine surfaces, fires, goes back under. And look, everybody's very passionate about doing the best job for President Trump and the American people.
And did you call him a total fraud?
Absolutely not.
Did you hear an answer to the first question? That tells me it's probably true. Hey, did you shove him or did he shove you? Well, we're both alpha males and we like to do things and keep going. Did he shove you or did you shove him? And what did one of you did you go at it? We both want to end up at the same place and bada 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 bada. Oh, that tells me two guys got down. I mean, you guys tell me. And once again, as I said, the chat is on Wonkly Rumble. I'm sorry. I had no idea the level. So yeah, something definitely happened. Yes, what they say, love him. Ninjas have no honor. He's a ninja. Hopefully uses ninja skills. There's a lot more to the Elon story because Trump still doesn't want to talk to him. And no, he didn't answer. Where'd that comment go so fast? Man, they come through here so fast. There's no, he didn't answer about the shove. Sometimes people watch these videos and they hear stuff and they forget what the question is. And these guys are so deft. They know how to answer these questions. And he just sat there and smiled and blah, 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 blah. You didn't answer my question, bro. And it's so funny because now that I've interviewed a bunch of people, I can hear it sometimes when somebody's dancing. And I'm like, okay, so they don't want to answer that. And I'm thinking to myself, I hope people are picking up that so-and-so didn't want to answer that question. They just completely went around it. He just went around it right then and there. So I just want to let you guys know how much time I'm left here. Yeah, we got some more stories to go through. And then we're going to jump to Rumble. Somebody said Rumble's acting wonky tonight. Sorry. A couple people now are saying, well, Rumble is definitely off. I wonder if they're getting hacked. Tonight. But we'll see. We shall see.
Big food brands are making changes to their products as the Trump administration pushes to make America healthy again. So take a look. We start with General Mills. They're removing artificial food dyes from U.S. cereals and the foods that they send to our schools, K through 12 schools. That's going to happen by next summer. This is going to happen by the end of 2027. They're removing all artificial dyes completely by the end, like I said, it's 2027. They make Trick cereal, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Cheerios, Rice Chex, the things that are probably in your pantry. Also,
I wonder what's worse, the sugar or the dye? I would love to talk to RFK Jr. and say, listen, I understand they're taking out these dyes and stuff. What about the sugar? The sugar that they're feeding these kids. And by the way, some people had asked in the chat last time when this came up, why are they taking so long into 2027 to get this stuff done? Because a lot of it's already probably pre-produced sitting on a shelf somewhere. And they're like, we can't just throw all this stuff away, RFK. Now, we'll sue you for that. So, as we get our batches done, we'll take this stuff out. But you got to let us get rid of the stuff that's on the shelf, which then should tell you as a parent or as a grandparent, if they're having to get rid of something because it's not good for you, but it's going to take them till 2027 to get it off the shelves, perhaps you might want to wait until 2027 until you buy the crap. Hey, this stuff is going to be no good for us, so we're going to make these people take it off the shelf, and we're announcing it. Okay, so why would you keep feeding it to your family? It's a very simple question. I can almost hear light bulbs going off and go, hey, yeah, wait a second. So you know it's bad, yeah. You're going to change it, yeah. But you're not going to change it to 2027, correct? And you're going to keep selling the shit that you have on the shelf right now, yes. The stuff that you're taking out because it's no good, yes. Well, then how about I just not buy this until 2027? Why would I keep buying the poison? Here, Susie, eat this big bowl of poison. And I'm thinking to myself, come on, Ainsley, you're a mom. I think she's a mom. Yeah, are you not questioning that? I mean, I understand it from the perspective of probably that's what the settlement was, wean out. But as a mom, don't you have a right or obligation to tell other mothers, hey, listen, they're still selling this crap for the next year or so, 2 years? Because a lot of people didn't even realize that. It's bad for you. It's toxic. And we're going to take it out in a while. Do your due diligence now.
Kraft and Heinz, they're saying goodbye to the artificial dyes by the end of 2027. Includes Jell-O, Capri Suns, Kool-Aid, and Crystal Light. Then the In-N-Out Burger, they removed artificial dyes from strawberry shakes and pink lemonade, and they replaced it with the beet juice and turmeric instead. Their focus is on the red 40 and the yellow 5. Also the high fructose corn syrup, they're replacing that with natural sugar. Then let's take Steak and Shake. Instead, they're using the beef tallow fat. We've heard RFK Jr. talk a lot about this. Instead of the vegetable oils to make their French fries, their onion rings, and their chicken tenders. And the tallow fat, it's still unsaturated, but it is a lot healthier than the heavily processed seed oils. Then all the spices in your cabinets. McCormick, many of those in my cabinet are made by this brand. Working to remove artificial food dyes and sodiums. Their focus is on the red dye number 3, which has been linked to cancer concerns.
I'm not laughing. I'm trying not to laugh because now you guys are probably thinking to yourself, yeah, so you're going to remove it even though it's been leaked to cancer, but in a while. No, you as a parent or a grandparent right now need to say, okay, so this stuff is bad in this food. I'm not going to eat it, and I'm going to hopefully not serve it to my kid and then talk to my daughter or son and say, stop eating this crap. Which then she'll probably turn around on me and say, I've seen some of the stuff you eat. Well, that's true too. I'm trying to stop. At least I'm trying. But do yourself a favor. Help your family out. Watch that again. See the products they're talking about, and stop eating that crap. Please, please.
As you well know, the city is facing a significant budget deficit and spending hundreds of millions of dollars on migrant support. How do you justify these expenditures as a taxpayer concerned about other pressing needs that you just listed right there about the concerns?
Well, we are addressing those pressing needs, and the reason why we responded to this global crisis of the migrant mission was because the federal government failed to do its part. You know, Governor Abbott spent over $220 million to ship people across America. Instead of working with Congress to actually pass substantive immigration reform policy, they wanted to create division. But we're not going to allow that to happen in the city of Chicago. Much like we fought for civil rights 60 years ago, we're going to continue to make sure that whether you are black, brown, Asian, white, young, old, working people deserve to be prioritized. And this misnomer that there's division, you know.
Notice, again, these people are so smooth. Working people, not working Americans. Working people. We need that slave labor. We need everything we can possibly do to have our economy run by having these people, because we cannot exist as an economy if we're not having this slave labor, which I find incredibly hypocritical. Why is it incredibly hypocritical, Barry? Because you're using slave labor and talking about it on Juneteenth. You're celebrating emancipation, but you're fighting to be able to keep these people getting paid slave wages. Make it make sense. Mr. Brandon, these people are being shoved into containers in the bottom of trucks, all kinds of things to get here, swimming across the Rio Grande, everything, just so they can come in and work in a restaurant and get paid much less than someone else. But you want reparations, and you're celebrating Juneteenth. Okay, make that make sense.
Consternation within communities solely based on this issue is just wrong. He's working to eliminate Black history. He is trying to eliminate Black existence from this country, but he's also...
Hey, AOC, you know when you said you're going to start cleaning up because you got to do something about the media? Come get your boy. All he's doing is vomiting on television. Even, hold on, let me freeze it.
So
look at her face. Seriously, bro, did you just say what I think you just said? He wants to do away with black people's existence? That just came out of his mouth. That came out of his mouth, that President Trump is trying to do away with black people existence. I'll let you hear that again. That's a nice morsel.
He's solely based on this issue. It's just wrong. He's working to eliminate black history. He is trying to eliminate black existence from this country, but he's also attacking the LGBTQ+.
I wouldn't say he's trying to eliminate black existence.
We're going to bring people together in this country to make sure we build.
She tried to stop him. She's like, hey, bro, that's a bridge too far, what you just said. And here on CNN, we'll get in trouble on that one. He will sue us. He's trying to get black existence put away. Wow, I must be one dumb Negro. I'm sitting here, not only did I vote for him, but I'm also having a channel dedicated to him while he's at the same time trying to do away with my existence. Wow, there's a lot of stupid black people that I guess.
The safest, most affordable big city in America.
I show you these things as I've shown you, or as I've said, is to let you know what these people are saying and how completely bat poop crazy they are. They've got nothing. They're full of desperation. And excuse me, they know he's not working to obliterate the black race. It's just lies.
Imminently, literally imminently, could happen during this talk, is going to be unlimited video, right? In the US, we're about to launch X Money. You've seen the...
All right, so I know I told you I wasn't going to talk a lot about money, but in this closing, I think it's the closing segment, or one of the closing segments. Wow. All right, so this is Linda, I want to pronounce her name correctly, Yaccarino. She is the Chief Marketing Officer and Elon Musk right-hand person there. And she, let me just see, SV just sent me something, Ashley did. And she right now is talking about what's coming with X. And what Elon Musk is trying to do right now is make X an all-around financial platform. Everything. It's going to take care of Venmo, going to take care of buying stock, going to be able to trade, you're going to be able to do all kinds of things, telephone service, right on X. And a lot of people probably aren't ready for what that actually means. So I'm going to let you listen to what she has to say.
With X Chat for premium users, off the charts capability. So think about what we're doing. Instead of getting distracted by clickbait noise, you're thinking about more people coming to the platform to spend more time to do more things. You know, soon you're going to be able to live your whole financial life on the platform. Peer-to-peer payments, stored value, pay a creator, watch a pay-per-view. I mean, come on, we're talking about what's next, not what stuff you talk about is like a fantasy of the past.
Yeah, I think she's pretty much talking about skating to where the puck is going to be. We're not talking about what we're telling you where we're headed. He is looking to seriously take over so much of our economy. X is now the #1 news app in the world. He's conquered it. And now that she's announcing all this stuff that's supposed to happen. Let me just show you some of this stuff. Linda, Trend Genius is the holy grail of advertising. The great thing about Trend Genius is you ride the wave, and then when it cools down to hit the floor, that's pre-negotiated and the trend cools down. The ads, the campaign pauses, maximum ROI, maximum contextual impact. No fat in your plan. It actually is. I call it the holy grail of advertising. The best ad product I've ever seen because it's right ad at the right time, at the right place, at the right scale, because of algorithms and AI. Now, I know many of you probably aren't into advertising. You're not pushing a product or doing anything like that, but it's going to be, incredible. absolutely incredible. Some of the stuff that she, on behalf of Elon, has been talking about. And now they're talking about being a complete marketplace. You may want to go look up Trend Genius. Let me see this as well. Here, look at this one she put out. This is another video. Every streamer, every publisher, all contributing the content, because when you participate or when your fan lives on X, the sports is 80% incremental reach to your TV or streaming content. So if you can take the limited nature, it's still big on the broadcast and streaming, and add 80% incremental reach to that experience, you've got a really happy fan and you have just as many happy advertisers. There are a lot of people who don't understand the power of X. There may be people watching here right now like, it's too much. I got YouTube, I got Rumble, I got Facebook, I got X. It is where we're headed. That's where that puck is going. I'm not going to go too deep in here right now, because it's probably a lot of people glass over and go, this is all too much. I wanted to see where this thing's. Okay. And this is, in case you guys are trying to, I know there's some people, because I've seen some people trying to get seen on X. She's going to tell you, is this a video? Yeah, I'll download this while she's talking.
Wouldn't be here spending jam-packed 5 days if we didn't have tremendous partners along with us.
All right, so 90% of the people who left X during the whole political crap have returned. So you're probably starting to see more ads on X as well. A lot of people don't like X. I mean, not like X. They don't like to see ads and things of that nature. But it's free. It's a free platform. You don't have to pay unless you want to get the blue check. And if you want to get the blue check, even more stuff opens up for you. There's benefits for having this stuff. And it's only going to become bigger and better. And the content that they want on there is video. And so everyone's going for video. And Rumble, which I'm working with, and YouTube, who I've been with, and X, where I'm also simulcasting at the same time, everybody is clamoring for video. So if you have a restaurant or selling anything, you better start getting a video camera together, because newspapers, websites, nobody's looking at that stuff anymore. Yeah, Elon needs to stay brohood with Trump. He's going to need him. You're right. If they can streamline everything into one subscription and login password, I'm all for it. You're right. Let's see here. X can be better. Where did that go? Yes, I love Elon Musk. From Toy. Hi, Toy. How are you doing? X can be better, in my opinion. Elon should go all out if he wants to. Yes, I even have problems with X. We have a community of 17,000 people, and I can't tell you how hard it is for me to log in. Other people have had a hard time logging in because it's growing so fast. And so you're gonna see some different things from us as well, because I wanted to grow my platform and what we want to do. All right, so. Don't want to belabor the point. We could talk about that again later. Let's listen. Oops.
Just to clarify this, our number one concern is violent criminals. And part of the ways that we find these violent criminals is through these worksite enforcement actions. That very much is the cornerstone of our operations. Actually, most recently in Los Angeles, we had an operation where we did locate multiple drug traffickers. We're finding that these worksite enforcements oftentimes find human traffickers, labor traffickers, or otherwise exploiting these migrants for cheap labor, unsafe working conditions. So those are not on pause. Those will continue.
So we do know that undocumented workers make up somewhere between 4 and 5% of our entire nation's workforce. If these business leaders express concern about their businesses being impacted, are you saying there will not be a change to that policy?
I'm saying that in the last 100 days under this administration, 75% of those immigrants that we've arrested, those illegal immigrants that we've arrested, have had prior criminal convictions. So these are not necessarily innocent individuals, that they not only are in this country illegally, but they also have crimes that they've committed.
I want to ask you about that number more deeply in a moment, but just to clarify, no change to that policy coming, correct?
No, we will continue worksite enforcement operations.
Okay.
Okay, so Tom Homan, they are now reiterating and telling people there's no changes. They are going to keep going after the work site. Whatever that rumor was, whatever that trial balloon that President Trump put out there, It has now been confirmed multiple times that they are indeed going to keep up with the worksite raids. So, y'all got a choice. You can either fess up and get out, or you're going to get caught. It's only a matter of time. It's not. Good luck with that. Now, many of you probably have seen the news that the Los Angeles Dodgers turned away ICE today, but ICE came out and said that's not true. So I don't know what really happened there, but ICE says they did not have any action going on at the ballpark, and Los Angeles Dodgers Stadium said that they weren't going to let ICE in. So I don't know what happened there. Either way, there's a lot going on.
I do believe that you should be made aware of, if you are not already, that you are working with and going to be speaking at an organization and rally that not is just funded by Christy Walton, the heiress of Walmart, but also has ties to the Chinese Progressive Association, largely funding it, that actually brags on their website that they are pro-Maoist. And when you use brown people, just like they use black people with BLM and Marxists during BLM to usher that in, when you use brown people and you put Mexican flags with them saying that you stand up for illegal immigrants, but you follow the money and it's going back to the Communist Party, what you're essentially doing is using your platform as elected officials, the trust that the American people have put in you, essentially to usher in communism. You're not actually fighting for American values. Don't roll your eyes, because it's a serious topic and that's where the money's coming from.
Don't roll your eyes at me. I'm talking right now. Love it. Love it. These Democrats ain't ready for this. They didn't plan on there being such feisty Republicans. They're used to Republicans laying down and just, accepting the butt kicking. Not anymore. Not anymore. I did want to jump in with this. Angela says Facebook has too many scammers pretending they are you. Just let you know right now, I am not on Facebook at all. And I understand there's people on Telegram, there's people on Facebook, there's even somebody on X. There'll probably be somebody soon on here. I already bounced one or two of them already. And so, yeah, there are a lot of people impostering. Just to let you know, I never, ever, ever, ever ask you for any personal information. Never. I never ask you, ever, 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 to buy anything, except when I'm doing an ad. So you won't get a comment, hey, click here so you can get... No, that doesn't happen. So report it. It's not me. I don't even have a Facebook account. They kicked me off a long time ago. So these are people who are just out there trying to, take advantage of people. I hate that stuff. Hate it.
And by the way, this brown person wants nothing to do with those leftists. Let's expand the conversation with Florida Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna. It's great to see you, Congresswoman. How concerned are you that not only is the Democrat Party ideologically aligned with Communist China, but online sleuths and congressional Republicans, they're tracking Democrats funneling taxpayer dollars to these NGOs that are closely tied to the CCP?
I'm very concerned about, so much so that we are launching an investigation into this on oversight, at least into Mr. Singham, and I've also talked to Chairman Comer about issuing a subpoena to George Soros, which I think he's going to. And then I actually just received a message today from Representative Van Drew, who's in New Jersey, that actually said on his subcommittee, of which he's a chairman, they're going to explicitly be looking at George Soros's interferences in our election process. So look, this is something that's been well overdue. Look, this is my second term in office. And so I definitely think it should have been done before my time. But what I will tell you is, because of the fact that, you have great investigative journalists like Data Republican, like these other individuals that are bringing attention to this, even to Laura Loomer's credit, she's also been really good on tying down some of the money that Neville Singham's wife has been funneling into Code Pink, which is also, doing the same thing to sow division in this country. I would say that, they're doing the groundwork, and it's our job in Congress to follow up. But look, there's a lot of people in Congress that can get weak stomachs on these topics, and so we need.
Okay, stop right there, Mr. Producer. Got to stop her. Why? See, that would have been a quick question for him to follow up with. Is why? Why do people in Congress have weak stomachs in regards to following up with this stuff? Why would you possibly have a weak stomach? What would be your, influence that says, nah, I don't want to really get involved in this? Why? Some of this stuff has to begin to be exposed. What exactly is the problem that these people are having that some of this stuff is coming out? There's only one reason, right? That one reason must be you're involved in it. If you saw something happening and you weren't involved in it and you had no way that this thing was going to touch you, why, of course you'd want to stop it and get involved and do anything. I have thought for quite some time that the rot is so bad and so deep on both sides, I bet we wouldn't even have a government available to operate. How the hell do you come into office making $160,000, $170,000 a year and end up worth 10, 12 million? You can't. You cannot do that legally. So they're all looking the other way. They don't want you to know what we're doing. And people are finding out. Absolutely.
The American people to hold them accountable.
You know, folks, I thank God for my wonderful wife, my kids, my country, the greatest nation ever. And Americans like you who believe in the truth, the Chris Salcedo Show will never stop.
I wanted you to hear his name because he's very good. Chris Salcedo is, I think he's a nice guy. And I you know, when I hear from nice guys like that, I like to push them. Just like with Michael Schwartz yesterday. I like nice guys who have shows who just need more and more people watching them. Not that his audience is small. I don't know what it is on Newsmax, but it's nice. He's a good guy. Now, this is Katie Britt on the hearing yesterday about Joe Biden and him being incapacitated.
Look at what the administration did. You look at what the Democratic Party did. You look at what the legacy media did. It is absolutely inexcusable. It is not only dangerous, it's disgusting. And the American people deserve better. And the fact that we have none of my Democratic colleagues over here, that this entire dais is empty, that what they allowed to happen, that they are not interested in correcting it for the future is absolutely mind-blowing.
Now understand what she's saying. I brought it up and I showed it to you yesterday. They had a huge hearing about the auto pen and Joe Biden being incapacitated and him not having his full functions, all that. They didn't even show up. Didn't even bother to come to the hearing. Completely boycotted it, ignored it. Every single one except for Welch from Vermont. They all just didn't show up. What did the media say about it? Nothing. Not a thing. The American people won't even know it. The American people won't even know that this happened and that these people never showed up. These hearings are useless. They carry no weight. They're completely feckless. Everybody knows, so they just didn't bother showing up. Yeah, you can't do anything. You can't do anything. You got nothing. And of course, the media won't show it, so you're the only people who know that they ran out the back door, hiding.
So when we're looking at what Joe Biden did while he was in office, you have a disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan. I mean, leaving equipment, leaving allies, changing the way the world viewed us. You look at an emboldened Russia, Iran. You look at what happened, obviously, with China and those conversations with Joe Biden. You look at millions flooding across our border. You look at a ton of unaccompanied children coming across, hundreds of thousands. You look at hundreds of thousands of Americans dead because of fentanyl poisoning. You look at record high inflation. Who was in charge? And the fact that not one Democrat colleague can show up and try to get answers to that, I hope the American people see that for exactly what it is. And so my questions to you is, how do we prevent this in the future? So we know that the 25th Amendment in the 1960s, we take a look at that. Section 4 was purposefully vague to allow for some flexibility. Clearly, it either didn't work or we have some people we need to hold accountable for not stepping up. So I want to know from y'all, what do we need to do? Do you think that there need to be more guardrails when it comes to Section 4? Do you think that we need some more standards to evaluate that? And if so, what should those standards be?
That's an easy answer to your question, Miss Britt. Put people in jail. But that's not probably going to happen. Remember a couple days ago I told you they know all the loopholes. They know what they can get away with and what they can't get away with. And they know that the Republicans don't know what they can get away with. And so they just keep doing the same stuff. So that's why I keep saying, and I keep talking to people, the only way this country is saved, the only way, there is no other way. I can't see it. Nothing. I don't see any possible way that we can fix so many things. The leases that you just heard about. Almost $250 million in leases on empty buildings and everything else. There's only one way. You literally have to pull the pin. Blow it all up. Literally, I mean, metaphorically speaking. There is no other way. None of these hearings are going to work. The courts aren't going to work. Voting's not going to. It's none of it. So if we get to 2026 and President Trump hasn't gone full Andrew Jackson, we're in really, really big trouble. We can no longer rely on the American people doing the right thing because of what their politicians are doing. We all want it to be fixed. I don't think there's many people here who wouldn't want it to be fixed. But gosh, man, these people are just, it's rotten. It's very, very, very rotten. Unbelievably rotten. Let me just take it. I was thinking the same thing. Yeah, that is the answer. What's the answer? Handcuffs. You got to stop it. Again, every single one of you that have been parents or grandparents, you know the kid can't run around, take poops on the floor, throw poops on the wall, do whatever he wants to do. You have to stop it. And sometimes you have to corporally stop it. It's just going to keep happening. And so they all know that. They all sit back fat and happy. Do you remember, what was his name? Harry Reid, who came out and said, yeah, when he lied about Mitt Romney, then afterwards, like, it worked, didn't it? They all know. And every single 4 years, we go to the ballot box thinking that if things are going to change this time. And I think most of you realize right now, I'm pretty sure most of you realize it's not going to change. The dream is over. It is not going to change whatsoever. I had seen somebody said, Barry, you keep saying that money isn't the root of all evil. It's not. It's the love of money. These people love money, and they probably love something more than money. They love power. As long as they can just sit there and go to these hearings and say what they want, and nobody can touch them. We're seeing it. I bet you we could count on two hands the amount of politicians who've been, basically been put in jail for stuff. Stuff that you and I could never do. They don't care. They don't care. It's so bad. It's so bad. Stop putting up with the corruption. It's almost like, it's going to happen if things don't change. Watch what happens. Wait till we hit the street. That's what's going to be really weird, because the Republicans, they freaked out when we, the whole January 6th thing. But that was just one thing in Washington. Wait until people realize at this point, we got to take it back. And President Trump's not going to be able to do it on his own whatsoever. So I'm going to read the super chats right now. As we get ready to jump over. Let me put that back up so you guys can get ready to go over there. Boom, I'll put that there. All right, so whatever is in here, I will go ahead and read. Let me get the right window and make sure everything is ready. Hold on. Okay. Now I can do it. Over here. Okay. From Tilly, in case you missed it, Barry, hi to Robin, Barry, Ashley, Mods, and Fanfare, and to those I do not know yet. Hi to you. Hello. Amy Lewis, thank you. Tilly, yep, they're all in on it. Mr. Mike, I support Trump 110%. We all need to lockstep with him. Thanks, Barry, for your channel. It's the best. Thank you. I get the shakes when you take a day off, huh? I'll be taking a day off. Wait a minute, what day is it? Her birthday, Robin's birthday, is Saturday, so we're probably going to spend a whole day together in this month of Robin. So probably won't do anything Saturday. Let's see here. Claudette Bruley, Rumble is fine. Good to hear. Am I saying this? Oh, wait a minute. Did I go all the way to the top? Yeah. Okay. Aunt Cal07. God bless Barry. The Bible talks about a unique prophecy where God says he will break Elam's bow, meaning there's going to be massive military defeat of the country of Iran. Iran is ancient Elam. Dave Rutan, have any politicians gone to jail since Watergate? Yeah, just that. Well, no, he didn't go to jail. I was going to say the guy George Santos, but they kicked him out, but he didn't go to jail. And I'm not sure about Menendez. Menendez may be the one going to jail, so we have to. That might be the guy. All right, so getting ready to jump over to Rumble, and so when we get into Rumble, got some ladies songs because we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna listen to Monica's speech tonight. Monica made a speech at a ladies event for Turning Point USA. It was her first speaking event. She did very well. You guys will hear it, and then we'll wrap it up with a 10 spot. So see you on the other side.